Nope, I need my slides up on that one. This is a separate piece of it. So now, are you guys going to announce?
Yeah.
Are we a little behind? Are we starting now?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All
It's
right.
done.
All right. If you let people know where they need to be.
Testing. All right, everybody, we are getting ready to start here, so if you can grab your seats. Definitely scoot up a little closer to the stage here. This is going to be pretty interactive, so take a couple minutes, get seated, come up closer. No one's moving. Your emails can wait. Believe me, by the time that this is over, you are either going to decide that you're going to be able to live stream everything in your society, or you're going to find someone within your society to do it for you. So, all right, if you guys can see okay, get seated, come up closer. While you check your phones and check your email. All right, I am Jordan Kunz. I am the immediate past president for CFA Society Colorado. I'm a director on the board. I've got another 2 years, or a year and a half left in that role, and then I'll be phasing it out. So thanks for having me back to give a presentation. Just live streaming everything in your society, or you're going to find someone within your society over the years. Each time gets a little more interactive, a little more advanced in some respects, but if I throw out any jargon, anything that causes your eyes to glaze over, please let me know. We want, again, this to be fairly interactive, and we think you're going to get a lot out of this. So, let's see if I've got my clicker set up the right way. All right, so what a difference a year has made. Since I am going back to give a presentation, just live streaming everything in your society. Anything that causes your eyes to glaze over, please let me know. We want, again, this to be... Anyone? No? All right. Or League of Legends, maybe some of you play some online gaming, you're familiar with what's going on interactive, and you get a lot out of it. So we will be making some very big strides on the business side of it, if you're on the analysis side. Live streaming is really the mainstream. You can now watch NFL games through Twitter, for example. Tens of thousands of people are watching people on stages like this playing video games, and they get really excited about it. We sold out Madison Square Garden fairly recently for a big set of events there. The costs have plummeted. So now this is something where you're a teenager at home, you can buy a $100 card, connect it to your PlayStation 4, your Xbox, and put a little webcam on, and now all of a sudden you're a YouTube sensation. Providing commentary as you play online, and we've seen that trickle down on the pro audiovisual side as well for what we can do at the society level. Normally this has been very cost prohibitive. If anyone has actually tried to get quotes for live streaming, I imagine your eyes have gotten really wide as you've seen what the costs have come in at. You'll be able to do all of this work, and between the sessions, I got everything set up to be streaming live. If the tech gods worked out, we actually you familiar with how to watch NFL games at the society levels for, gosh, $2,000, give or take, not even. And you can actually do it for less than $200 with this. Oh. disconnect anything. So, hopefully that caught your attention a little bit. Facebook Live. You've probably seen some friends posting live. We've seen this in the news as well. The bandwidth is there on phones to really go live now. Your bills might not like it, but you can do this from a phone. And as of, more importantly for this presentation, September of this year, Google went from their Hangouts Live model, which is what we have been using internally at Colorado, to what's now known as YouTube Live. So it's all functioned through YouTube. The interface changed a little bit, so that's what we'll be covering a little bit in this presentation, along with some of the new bells and whistles. So last year I had said YouTube Live is the future, and we're there. The future's now. So standard equipment. You'll notice right next to that projector, your laptop. I think, are there any societies here who do not have a laptop already purchased? Say within the last 2 years? Anybody? Okay, so you guys are already, the hard part's been done. If you need something dedicated
This work,
Bills in Colorado said model laptop, as long as it has USB 3.0, less than 2 years old, a couple $100. It's really dramatic to see the price decreases that we've had on the technology side. For the basic side of things, this is the Logitech HD Pro Webcam, the C920. That's a special model number. They've been out for years now. This is very, very common. They're not particularly expensive. This particular model, as of this weekend, was retailing for under $63 on Amazon. You can find them. You might already have some for your society. I also recommend a lightweight tripod. And one of the unique features of this is you can bend it every which way, position it, get it level. You can wrap it onto the backs of chairs. You can hang it from a railing. You can do anything with these things. They're great. Photographers out there, you already know about these. And one piece of equipment I don't have up here. This will work. This has a mic built into it. It does HD streaming. It plugs right into the USB.
Any societies here, lightweight.
You can also get a USB mic for a fair bit higher
Photographers
quality.
out there, you already know about these.
And
One piece of equipment I don't have up here. This
the audio is closer, farther. That's really the whole secret there. So if you have your microphone, if you're giving a presentation, you hide that microphone right here. Someone's at the lecture. You're gonna have great audio. If you're trying to
streaming, it plugs right into the USB. Any societies here,
forks and knives clinking more than you might hear the speaker. So that's just something to be aware of. But all told, under $200.
That's really the whole secret there. So if you have your microphone, if you're giving a presentation, you hide that microphone right here. Someone's at the lecture.
Pretty big, a reasonable budget now that you've got a CPR, or PCR, excuse me. If you want to go advanced,
Great audio. That's really the whole secret there. So if you have your
fits, and I didn't bring this up here, into a bag that is this big.
microphone, if you're giving a presentation, audio. That's really
On the flight out here, it's very reasonable, not too heavy, probably 30 pounds. It's fully
the whole secret there. So if you have your
fits, and I didn't bring this up. This text is gonna be a little small, that's why I asked you guys to sit a little closer. These slides will be available. This is a bit of a shopping list if you want to take it that way. You might already have some of this equipment yourself, but all told, for everything but the laptop, we're talking $2,500. And one new piece of equipment from last year, this will probably look familiar for those of you who, has anyone been here for one of the past two presentations? Stacy, maybe you? Chad, the back? No.
out here.
It's very reasonable, not too heavy, probably one of the past two presentations. Stacy, maybe you? In the last 2 years. That Canon XA10 camera. This one right down here is AVIO. It's a capture card that allows you to connect your camera to a laptop. You can't just plug into the HDMI jack in your laptop. That's for output only. For to a TV,
Back.
something of that nature.
Out here.
Capture card that allows you to connect your camera to a laptop. You can't just plug into the HDMI jack in your device, which is dangling right over there behind the projector. Processes the video and audio and routes it up to the laptop, and it knows what to do from there. Treats it like a giant webcam, more or less. So very, very simple. This works great if you're working, you want to up your production quality for clients. You know, for your firm level, this isn't just something you can do at the society level. It's something you can take back to your firms, particularly. I know we've got a lot of laptops. That's for outside device. Simple. This works great if you're working, you want to up your production quality for clients. You know, for your full HD quality, right there. So platforms.
This isn't just something you can do at the society level. So you can take back to your firms, particularly. I know we've got a lot of
YouTube Live. That's it's free. It's stable. It's Google. I feel pretty confident that they're going to be
That's for outside device. This works on your
archives to your YouTube channel. So how many societies here have a YouTube channel? I know the Institute does. Is anyone else using YouTube currently for recording events? Maybe I'll take a step back. Who all is currently recording events? Every so often. All right, I'll end. Anybody else? Okay, that's probably why you're here. Ustream is another platform. They've got some nice integrated tools where you can get an all-in-one. You're limited to their platform.
We've got a lot of YouTube Live. That's it's free.
It's plug and play with a lot of other providers. It's very flexible. And again, it's archived. It's going to help your search results if you decide to go down that route. We'll talk about that a little bit between whether you're making these publicly available. Maybe your speaker says just for people who have the link, or maybe you completely block it off and keep it on a certain society webpage that's only accessible to members. It's really your call. Live stream, that's another good option. And then down the bottom, there's names we know from work. We know Skype, we know WebEx, we know JoinMe, we know GoToMeeting. Those all work. Those all have webcam functionality and video functionality baked in. It didn't used to be that way.
That's publicly available. Maybe your speaker says just for people who have the link. Maybe you completely from work. We know Skype, we know WebEx, we know
next to your computer. It's working. Once you plug it in, you're going to get that audio and video quality on your platform, and it's as simple as sending out an invite and having people join. So that's another option. For our society, we've done something a little different.
We know GoToMeeting from work. We know Skype, we know WebEx, we know next to your computer. It's working.
You can be doing. I know Nevada has the issue.
We know WebEx.
Think of some of your other scenarios where you might be split across geographically. I know LA. Talk about sprawl. You've got board members probably everywhere. This can be a nice way to add some visuals. So, any questions so far on platforms, or hopefully this is feeling somewhat familiar. You've seen these names in the news. You've used them at work. We're not having a brand new epiphany here. This is just using some of the tools in a little different way. All right. So YouTube. What you need is a verified YouTube channel for your society.
So we know next to your computer.
You've seen these names in the news. You've used them at work. We're not recording events separately. And bear in mind, we're doing a lot of this in Colorado on our own, but you might have a third-party provider that has recordings of your forecast.
So we know next to your computer. You've seen these names in the news.
Well, you have to check your contract with your speakers and everything. That's a whole other discussion. But if you have videos in the past, trailers for your societies, materials from the Institute, maybe it's a specific Institute video with your custom society logo, consider putting it on YouTube. Again, it's free, it's stable, everyone knows how to use it. You also need a broadcasting device. Again, it could be that little webcam I showed you. In this case, we'll get into a little more detail on the nuts and bolts of making this work, but we have our broadcast device, which is the laptop, and then you need an internet connection. And hopefully, we'll be testing this to see how good the hotel's Wi-Fi is. We'll have one of you bring up, or maybe all of you, the live stream. You won't see yourselves, but you should see me up here.
Use the network. Trailers knows how to use it.
Hopefully, it's a wired.
You also need a broadcasting device. Again, it could be that.
For the society, you need a volunteer to set up and monitor the stream. Right now, that's going completely unmonitored. I should probably check it to see if it's still going just fine. But I set this up to just go. So let's take a look very quickly. And it's still going. That's good. Ideally, if you want to have chat functionality,
It's still going just fine.
more interactive,
But
just
I
more
set.
video feed, you should. I would recommend this, but you could set and forget it. Ideally, you'll have someone there who's just able to keep eyes on the stream and work through it that way. And then the video sharing settings, deciding if it's going to be public, if it's going to be unlisted, or if it's going to be private. So, any questions at this point? Yes?
So is your society?
It's up to just go. So let's take a look.
Great question. So we have, we just were in preparation for this presentation and knowing what the changes YouTube did in September. We had a equity evaluation course for the Research Challenge for all of our local universities. It was a live presentation, but
I would recommend this, but you could set and forget it. Ideally, you have someone there who's
for
able.
example, University of Wyoming participates. It's a big ask for them to come all the way down to Denver for the live presentation. So we had it streaming live, and then it also archived it right away to be available.
Knowing what the changes YouTube did in September. We had a University of Wyoming participates. It's a big ask for them to come all the way down to Denver for the live presentation. So we had a streaming live. There's little Timmy up on stage, talking about Chipotle or something. So that's where we've seen the most buy-in. We haven't done as much on the live streaming side. We've done more on the recording side, partially due to quality actually. Now that we've added this capture card, you'll be able to see we have a very also archived it right away to be this. I think we'll probably on the recording side, partially due to quality actually. Now that we're getting permission, and then also letting your members know. We've added this capture card, you'll be able to see we have a very also archived it. Know about it. There's countdowns, there's live pages. You can embed it in your own system right away to be. I think we're probably on the recording side, partially due to quality actually. Now that we're getting permission, and also letting your members know. We've added this capture card, you'll be able to see we have a very also archived it. There's countdowns. 20, 30 typical views, and we haven't in the past done a lot of historical back pages. You'll be able to see we have a very. I think it's hard to make the ask to say, well, go watch it at home on your own time. If they're really excited about it, they'll check out the presentation. Our members, though, value having this available to them, particularly folks up in the mountains where it takes a few hours to get to Denver. Now, at least they can benefit from the speakers we're bringing in. And I know Chicago, for example, has done some live streams. The Institute's done some live streams with the equity. So archived it. There's countdowns. Now, at least they can benefit from the speakers we're bringing in. And I know Chicago, for example, has done some live streams. Great question on the payout. Done some live streams with on the margin. The equity. So archived it. There's countdowns. More and more of our members who've grown up in digital natives, they're used to this. It's the interaction portion of it is a good aspect as well. So going now, at least they can benefit. There's countdowns. Seeing more and more of our members who've grown up in digital natives, they're used to this. Going to off the cuff say we're streaming live, warts and all. Here we go. You get interaction portion of it is a good aspect. And now at least they can benefit. There's countdowns. Seeing more and more. If anyone was following our channel, you probably saw me messing around with this at home over the weekend. So I had deleted those right away as soon as those were finished. Just testing the equipment because it was very boring. But if you're on the floor, maybe it's a trade show. There's capabilities where you can actually have that whole package. This is a stable setup. There are providers where you can attach something on top of the camera and take it portable. It's got a built-in 4G Wi-Fi modem in it. It handles all the streaming. You don't have to buy a separate computer. A little more expensive, but still. So our members who are digital natives, they're used to this. Walking around with just that camera, a mic, and the pack, and be walking the convention floors at the next Institute conference. Live interviews, things of that nature. Events. This is actually what's most common for societies. You can do the quick option, and we'll walk through these settings. But again, that's just using webcam, setup, plug and play. You're not setting any custom settings that I had to set up for what we're doing now. Or you can choose custom, and this is where you can choose your bit rate. You can say, is it going to be 720p? Is it going to be 1080p? How many camera angles are you going to build in? Transitions, give it more of that professional feel. So this is going to cover both. And again, these slides will be made available, so don't feel like you need to write down everything that's on the camera. What's custom settings that I had to set up for what we're doing now. Is to get set up. So first, you're going to log into your YouTube channel. This is what it looks like currently. And again, I had to update my slides from last year because this has changed. Things change for them. This is telegraphed maybe a year ago that they were moving this direction, and then they flipped the professional field. So we're just going to cover both. On the column on the side is live streaming. So you click into your video, you'll see that on the side. There's live or stream now, which means you're going to log into your YouTube channel. This is what it looks like currently, and again, I had to update my slide. So this is saying, great, you don't have any upcoming events. Blue link, schedule an event. All right, let's click it. These settings, and again, I realize you guys are probably not going to be able to read this because you chose to sit far away. And the column on the side is live streaming. So you click into your here, but in essence, you're going to click live new events. You're going to give it a name, and if you want to go live right now, you can hit go live. And Claire back there could plug this webcam into her laptop, and she could hit go live, and she would be live and streaming to everyone to see.
Very analogous to what Facebook's done, where just hit a button and you're streaming. Periscope, some of those other apps related to Twitter are taking advantage of this because your phones are so powerful these days. It has the camera built in, it has a microphone built in, it has the
coming in the streaming. So you plug this webcam in, or those other apps related to Twitter are taking advantage of this because you
can do it. There's a lot of things like we're all used to the shaky cam videos of someone, or do you hold your phone sideways, do you hold it vertically, all those different those pieces. But in theory, you can. Then you can also schedule the YouTube Live broadcast. So we'll walk through this in a moment.
You're
Just straight from Google,
so
they
powerful
make it
these
very
days.
clear. If you have questions as you're going through this, their documentation is far more thorough than mine. I just took this wholesale from their site. And then you get to set your settings. So we've had a debate on our board about whether or not to use public only, or public so everyone can see it as a link, whether or not we want to be unlisted, or whether or not we want to be private. So right now we've settled on unlisted for the time being. So
Cam video. We'll walk through this in a moment.
You're
just straight from Google. So powerful these days.
About whether or not to direct embeds ourselves. It's really up to you. For the research challenge, for example, we use the public option. We want the family to be able to, anyone to be able to see that. This is what that screen looks like. So once you click schedule and do it, there's your title. You're going to set your date.
Use public only, or public so everyone can see it as a link.
Just very straightforward. There's your privacy choice on the upper right, and then which type you want to do, quick or custom. You set a couple more settings in here. This is pretty powerful. You can set whether or not you would like to have statistics for your video. You can say whether or not you want to geotag your video. That, oh, this would happen to be in Denver.
This is what that screen looks like. So once you click schedule and do it, there's your title. You're going to set your use public only in here. This is pretty powerful. You can set whether or not you
just pushing this out. I don't think we've had any issues on the chat side, but if you don't have someone sitting to watch the stream and babysit it, you probably don't want
would
to
like to have statistics for your video. Or use public only in here. This is pretty powerful. You can set whether or not you
just pushing this out. This together right now. A lot of these you can leave on. The DVR setting is interesting. That allows people to go back in time, and if they came into the event, say 5 minutes after it started, they can go back and start watching it from the beginning. And then
I don't think we've had any issues on the chat side, but if you don't have someone sitting to watch the stream and
really want people to get a sense of this is live, it's happening now, to the NFL broadcast or something like that, they probably don't want the DVR functionality built in. You're watching it live or you're not watching it at all. Or you don't want them to skip past the commercials, those sorts of things. So you can put ads in. You can actually monetize the stream if you'd like. So this is what we've changed primarily for this year. So we added what's called a capture card. Traditionally, these were big, bulky items that you plug into the back of your computer. You take your desktop apart, you plug in. These have been around, oh gosh, as long.
a lot of these. I think we've had any issues on the chat. You're watching it live or you're not watching it at all. Or you don't want them to skip past the commercials. Big, bulky items that you plug into the back of your computer.
The video feed, going to go into a little box like this.
Desktop apart, plug in. These have been around, oh gosh.
You're able to get up to a 4K stream, so very high video quality, in a little box like this, and as cheap as, particularly if you already have a Mac, $140. So that's that one on the upper right, this little mini recorder. Put an HDMI cable in, you connect the Thunderbolt out, and you're off and running. That's it. All it's doing is converting the video feed into something the computer can understand. That's what it's doing. We've chosen the one on the right.
Go into a little box like the Mac.
A few things that were helpful for us. One, we don't have a Mac, so Thunderbolt isn't as useful. It also allows you
So that's that one on the upper right, this little mini recorder.
HDMI, use VGA.
On the right, go into a little box like the Mac.
That were helpful for us, or the feed going to
We don't have a Mac, so Thunderbolt isn't as useful.
capture.
It also allows, so that's that one on the right, this little mini recorder.
HDMI, use VGA.
On the right, go into a little box like the Mac. That were helpful for us.
Or the feed going to
We don't have a Mac, so Thunderbolt isn't as useful. It also allows, so that's that one.
Sense for us, given that most of our events are locked off on a tripod, we're not moving the camera along. $625 for
On the right, this little mini recorder.
HDMI, use VGA.
On
Right on the top, it has a built-in battery. You can get a couple hours of streaming off of this. It'll connect with the Wi-Fi. It'll connect with the 4G modem, and you're off to the races. So that would be if you don't want to deal with. It takes the. You don't have to buy a capture card. You just buy that, and you don't need a laptop either. Just a camera and that. That's where the industry's gone. So again, I hope you're seeing that this is not unobtainable in terms of the technology side. There's a bit of doing, but on the technology side, there's no issues. Any questions at this point? Did I throw any jargon out for anyone in terms of how that all works? Okay. Yes.
Sense by that.
Oh, yeah.
And
So right now, the stream that's
camera
going through at the moment is, you can customize the settings depending on your HD quality and so on. I've set this up on a simple set of settings just to make sure it worked. You can dial those in and adjust those, particularly if your broadband speed is solid. That's a couple of years old. That you mentioned there, a new MacBook.
You can customize the settings depending on your HD quality and so on. I've set this up on a simple set of settings just to make sure it worked.
Faster, but right now that's probably using a third.
You can dial those in and adjust those, particularly if your broadband.
Theory.
Full set of settings just to make sure it worked.
But
right now that's probably using
of some sort. It's too hard with this, but I could have had the PowerPoint on there, be clicking through with this with the video feed.
You can dial those in and adjust those, particularly if your broadband.
Theory.
Full set of settings just to make sure it worked.
Haven't tried that in a live scenario like this, so I just want to make sure that this works. But very good question. Anything else before we keep going on the custom side? All right, so this is where we're gonna get a little detailed. Again, remember, $200, webcam, laptop, you're done. That can work. This is gonna be a little more about the specifics of this, and again, you can feel free.
Right now that's probably using some too hard of this, but I could have had the PowerPoint on there for $200.
So custom event requires an external encoder software. Essentially, Skype counts as this, for example. So a bit of software that's able to take the live feed that's coming to that computer,
Webcam,
and
laptop, you're done.
that you want it to. That's essentially. I'm trying to think of a better metaphor.
So custom event requires an external encoder software.
There's a free open source tool that we've been using called Open Broadcast.
Essentially, Skype counts as this, for example.
World. So there's lots of posts.
Requires an external encoder software.
There's a free open source tool. Blowing up monsters online in real time. There's other options. There's a very professional option called Wirecaster. I'm not sure what this is that we've been using called Open Broadcast.
Essentially,
purchase, rock solid, very user friendly. This is the open source version of it that we have. So this is it. Again, these slides will be available for you, so you don't have to look for them now. But you can just Google OBS Studio, and the downloads are there. It's free and pretty straightforward. So that's why we're using it. And it works Windows, Mac, Linux, across the board. The encoder settings, this is the other, probably the trickiest part of the whole business. You need to tell YouTube or wherever you're sending the videos, Ustream, whatever, hey, I have a video feed and look for it here. So you can process it and put it on the appropriate page. So in our case, it already has the primary YouTube servers built in on the software that we have here. So all I have to do is give it a unique and 16-digit
Google OBS Studio, and the downloads are there. It's free.
Once you give this key,
It already has the primary.
anyone can stream anything to your channel, so you want to make sure, for a variety of reasons, that you keep that secure. It's normally blocked off and passworded by default, but you got to paste that into the software, and now it knows the match of, all right, I've got the address, I'm sending it here, YouTube, here's my key, and then YouTube can see that key and assign it to the appropriate place to display it. So there's a bit of a handshake process that goes on there.
YouTube servers, the knows the match. All right, I've got the address, and I'm sending it here. YouTube.
Choose your settings. So right now we're streaming in 720p, which is HD. Doesn't put as much of a strain on the laptops. You can do 1080p, you can do 4K if you'd like. YouTube can handle all of that. That's beyond the scope of what we're talking about here today, but it is certainly doable if you're willing to put the resources into it. So YouTube has a whole set of settings. You can go into the advanced level and try and take some of the load off the processor.
My key, and then YouTube can see that key and assign it to the
YouTube
user settings. So right now,
correlates to the video quality, how much data is being pushed out. So depending on your internet connection, that will depend on your processor. Typically $3,000 to $4,000, or excuse me, 3,000 to 4,000. I think it's kilobits, maybe kilobytes. I think kilobytes per second. So it's just a
still and trying. That will depend depend on your processor. Typically,
test website speedtest.net or something like that to check their internet. I was using it a lot to make sure that this room was going to be able to handle this.
$3,000 to $4,000. Using 3,000 to 4,000
on your upload speed, and it's not download, it's upload. You're pushing video out to YouTube to handle. If you've got 10, okay, you should feel pretty
kilobytes per second. So it's just a
4 or 5,000 essentially for your stream. So again, there's a lot of detail here. You can go through if you want to.
3 kilobytes per second. So it's just a
So within OBS, all you have to do is go in. There's I think I have a little laser pointer in here. Maybe I do. On the side, maybe. Oh, nice. All right, here we go. Got the power. So right up here, output mode. I set it to advanced because this gave you a little more information. There's 2 options here: simple or advanced. Right now, I have it set on simple. All you need to get with simple is having all these options here. It just gives you the option of what's your bit rate, and that's it. So that's all you need to do. And let it go there. You tell it your base resolution. All right, here we go. Size image are you going to? Everyone's made a collage, right? In elementary school, your glue sticks, your cut out things from magazines, you're putting them in place. You're telling a story. Think of this video software just like that. You've got a blank piece of black cardboard or construction paper, and you're going to layer images on top. You're going to glue things on top. So maybe one option would be your society logo. All right, let's put that down in the bottom right corner. All right, let's stick it down there. This is essentially telling you how big is that piece of construction paper that you're working with. You want a big piece? You want a smaller piece? This is just the defaults for my monitor at home. I have a 16 by 10 monitor, but pretty standard would be something like 1920 by 1080. That should sound familiar. 1080p. That's your standard HD full quality signal. Another option is 1280 by 720, and that's what's called 720p. They still use that on broadcast TV, so it's good enough for broadcast.
having all these outlays, one option.
CBS, I think, still uses 720p. It works. It's just fine. It'll still show up as HD on YouTube, and this is what you're actually outputting when the stream's done. All right, so setting this up, this is what the screen actually looks like. Here I was just layering a couple things on, so that's a picture from my company website. And here is a PowerPoint presentation. So you could, in theory, lay out any window that you have open on the machine, or any video feed that's coming in, any webcam image. You can put in video files. You can put in essentially anything that can display on your screen. This software is going to capture that, what's on your screen, and output it. Okay, so you've got your collage. Now you're arranging your pieces. And your one piece of construction paper is down here.
So
you can have many.
any window that you have open on the machine, or any video feed.
You can have your first, we'll be starting in 5 minutes. That would be scene 1, label it whatever you'd like. You can have your main stream set up as, this is the video camera, the live presenter. Another one that says we'll be back in 5 minutes. There's a built-in text feature to this. So there's a whole, depending on how fancy you want to get with this, you can tell a whole story directly from here and have it all queued up down here. Within each scene, so once I've selected this option, I can choose my video sources here. So I've got the image, I've got a window here that is labeled PowerPoint. And we'll again walk through how to do this. It's very, very straightforward. Anytime that PowerPoint presentation updates and moves forward, it will update it on what it's capturing and sending out. Does that make sense? Any questions? And I hope you guys are still with me here. So we've got our piece of construction paper. We've layered on what we want. We've selected our audio. Again, you're going to want your audio. And then right down here, start streaming. And that's it from the software. So that's what I did. It's streaming. And it's sending it out.
PowerPoint, what it's capturing.
If you set it up right, it knows. And here's a description of exactly what we were talking about. So adding your logos, your scenes. You can add transitions to fade between one scene and another. Maybe you have camera 1. You have camera 2 that's zoomed in on your speaker. You have camera 3 that's set up to be your audience and get their reaction or a panning shot. All those things that we're used to seeing, you can do it. Again, it's just a little bit of manpower. Starting the stream, so once that's ready to go, log into your YouTube channel, you log into your events, and this is what I was just doing a couple minutes ago, and you just let it know that you're ready to start going. And YouTube will let you know, hey, we're receiving data and the quality is good. So, this is what it looks like, right here. So right now, it doesn't have any data in this particular instance. You can add a little trailer. So I had one of the videos that the Institute had about the research challenge for this particular live stream course that we were doing for our society just this past weekend. You can load in whatever messaging you want to get across. So people, if they come early, great, they can watch the trailer, or they're going to bookmark it, they're going to do something of that nature. You can load all of that in advance. So again, YouTube's thought about this. They do live streaming for Coachella based on this platform. So there's nothing that we can do as a society that's going to get it remotely as complex as live streaming a live concert with 6 different stages and dozens of cameras and audio feeds and that sort of thing. But this platform can handle it. So you should feel pretty comfortable about the capabilities here. It's saying no data because it's not receiving anything at this time. Once you've hit start,
you're wondering, again, create that stream. So again, YouTube's thought about this. They do live streaming for Coachella.
So you've loaded in the video. You can give a little description. You can grab the link of where this will be available.
But this platform can handle it.
That you can embed the stream. You can make this a private video. Go in and grab the embed option here. It'll give you a little snippet of code. Paste that into your website, and you're off and running. And people will have to come to your website.
They do live streaming for Coachella.
So engage with a future finance page that you have. Embed the video there. Don't even have to go to YouTube to say, be at our site at this time. You'll see a little countdown in the video saying this event hasn't started yet. Come back in 3 days and 5 hours and 6 minutes. And it's updating live for you. You can have a little video preview for them. It's all there. And then live chat, I won't go into this as much. Just suffice to say that you can chat with your users.
Loaded in the video, future finance page, 5 hours and 6 minutes. And it's updating live for you.
Ask you, you'll pass them on to the moderator. Advertising the stream, again, there's a lot of detail here. I'm going to skip past that in the interest of time and getting a little more interactive.
Video preview for them. It's all there.
Give them the link. You can say go to YouTube. There's a wide variety of options here. These are just suggestions on what to do. And then the future. So again, I mentioned cell phones. This is where I think we'll get eventually. Imagine having your, an iDevice, one of the newer Android phones, a tripod, an external mic, and put it up right here. That's an option. That could be a live stream, or set it up above, and you've got 2 people. You're just doing a quick interview. Again, stream it live, or just use it as a recording. You don't have to publicly make the video or make the video public. Make it private. It's going to record for you once it's done, and then you can go back and share that video. It typically takes them a few hours to ingest the video and make it available for replay on YouTube. That's the other advantage we really like about this. We don't need to record the stream to a hard drive on a computer. Google's handling all that for us. Servers are far more advanced than what we have. So,
Phones, a tripod, or just use it as a recording. You don't have to publicly make the video or make the video public.
do you have a laptop?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, if you can, you're connected to the Wi-Fi?
Yes.
All right. Go to YouTube. Is anyone actually watching the stream right now? Has anyone gone ahead? Okay, this will be surprising.
All right.
So go to YouTube.
Okay.
In the search window, type in CFA Society Colorado. I'm pretty sure I made this public.
Okay.
Okay, and if you click through, does it say that we're live now?
Where would I see that? Oh, there.
Yep, you see it? Right.
I'm not very technologically advanced. Let's see. Would I go to videos?
Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? This will work. I'm just going to do it from this machine. So this is just set anything I do on here to go out, right? For now. Is that correct, tech team, Chad? Are you looking at it right now?
I'm on City Study Colorado YouTube. I just searched YouTube though.
All right, give me a second here. So I'm going to close this down because that's the end of my presentation. And see if I can't get to it. Bear with me for just a sec. Any questions in the meantime? That's the prepared remarks. Now I want everyone to actually get out of your seats, put your phones down, and you guys can play with this. Wave to the camera, that sort of things, see how it's all working, look at some of the other equipment. But any comments on that? We'll do a little bit of a walkthrough setting this up live, and then answer any other questions and comments about success of streaming for your society. So, any questions at the moment? Pretty sure.
That's the other advantage we really like. Go to YouTube, type in CFA Society Colorado.
Yeah, how's your live stream going?
Maybe I made it unlisted. That would be ironic. All right, let me see if I
The
can.
CFA was very important in my career. When I got my current job as a chief investment officer, I moved.
Actually, it's another video we could show you that we did for our society, but
Just a sec. There might be a special link that I didn't give you all.
Live. We really like.
Okay, so it did record, so that's good. It says just one is watching now, that might be me. Oh, it did work. Let me see if I can change the permissions here real quick. I told you these live events, there's always a glitch of some sort, so this is an oversight on my part. Live now. Let's see if I can do this. Ah, that's it. I made it unlisted. Let's see if I can edit this. We're gonna go public. Oh, since that wraps up the prepared part, I'm actually just gonna stop the stream for now. I'm gonna go live publicly, and you guys should be able to see it that way. So give me just a sec.